Hello, everyone. Welcome to another week of school. Will we have an entire week without snow? I guess we'll wait and see. But we are almost finished learning about how to draw our face. So, as you can see from behind me, we're going to work on how to draw our mouth today. We'll learn how to draw a closed mouth. And we'll learn how to draw a cheesy smiley mouth. And then you can pick which one you want to use for your own self-portrait or for the person that you decide to draw next week when we put it all together. I'm sorry, Maggie is meowing right outside my door because she wants to come in and be on camera too, but I don't think she will behave herself very well in here, so we're not going to do that today. All right. So I am going to change my screen and we will get started. I have so many screens up right now. It's hard to tell. There we go. All right, now we're ready to go. I have a lot of tabs open. All right. So speaking of Maggie, which one of these two kitties looks the most suspect? Somebody yarn bombed the living room. They found a giant ball of yarn. I even forgot I had it, but well, they had a good old time. They had yarn strung from one end of the room to the other. It was quite a mess. Yes, so somebody's yarn bombed the living room and somebody put my earphones, not my headphones, my earphones down the garbage disposal. Yes. Yes, and I'm not sure who. Molly likes to carry things around in her mouth, but Maggie is extremely fascinated by things being put in the sink. Yes, we've been a little mischievous over the past couple days, so maybe they all have a little bit of cabin fever and they're ready for spring. But they've been very entertaining the past couple days. They've kept me on my toes. All right, let's begin. All right, we're going to talk about your smile today, or your mouth, okay? Not everybody likes to smile, and that's okay, like for your school portrait or your pictures. So you get to choose whether or not you're going to draw a closed mouth or a mouth with teeth. I'll show you both ways. You get to pick whichever one you would like. All right, now I love sharing fancy words with you so you can go impress people with all the words you know. But this week, the words are not that fancy. When we're talking about drawing your mouth, you have an upper lip, you have a lower lip, and then you have teeth. Yes, that's what we've got. But that's okay. I'm sorry, Maggie is still yelling. I hope you can't hear her, but she's being quite dramatic right now. Anyway, let's move on here. I'm going to scoot back to that other picture in just a second, but when it comes to drawing a mouth and drawing lips, if you can draw a rolling hill, if you can draw a hammock, and that's a cloth or a net between two trees, and then you can sit in it and relax. It doesn't have to be palm trees either. It can be trees in your backyard. And if you can draw a banana, the shape of a banana, you can draw a mouth. So we're going to get started in just a second. I'm going to go back to here for a moment just to let you see that we all have different mouths. We all smile a little bit differently. So your mouth may look a little bit different than mine when we go to draw, but I'll try to draw a couple different ones so that you can have some options. But before we get started, before I switch over to my iPad, I want to show you some cool things to keep in mind. Now you can do this with your finger if your hands are clean, or with a pencil, but do it with if you're going to do it with a pencil, do it with the eraser end and not with the pointed end going near your face or your eyes. I'll use a marker. Okay, but the center of your mouth comes right under the middle of your nose, the center of your nose. See that? All right, so when we go to put our mouth on our face next week, You'll be able to keep that in mind. I just poked myself in the nose. That's funny though. I'll leave that in. All right, and the corners of our mouth, when we have our mouths closed, I'll close my mouth here to show you this. Come up right underneath our eyes, or right underneath our pupils. So it's kind of neat how our faces are mathematical like that. They're all lined up. It's pretty neat. There's all kinds of neat things about our faces and our bodies that actually all equal each other. But right now we're going to work on our lips and our mouth. So I am going to change over to my iPad and we will get this started. So before we get started, I want to show you some things that actually I had a student call a pencil a power tool last week and I really liked it. I thought that is a very good name for a pencil because there are a lot of things you can do with your pencil. So just to warm up before we start drawing our mouths, remember that you can apply different amounts of pressure with your pencil to make it darker or lighter. So if I'm pressing very hard, I get this super dark line or mark. But if I let off the pressure, you can do this with me too. You want. It gets lighter and lighter and lighter until I press down again. So remember that with your pencil that you have a lot of control here. You can make a soft light mark or you can make it much, much darker. Also, I mentioned this before also, we're going to try to pick our pencil up and make softer lines that are lighter that we can go back and erase. Because, yep, we can go like this, making a line, yep, go all the way across. And that's a great, almost straight line. But if I needed to change anything with this line and I had to erase, I might be able to get most of it off, but I would probably be leaving a little bit behind or I'd have to erase very hard to get it to go all the way. So if we lightly sketch with our pencil a line, it takes us about the same amount of time to make that line. And if I need to make it shorter or change the shape of it, I can erase it easily and I don't have to have that ghost line, I call it, from where we pressed a little too hard. So those are just a couple things to keep in mind. Also, if you need to wake up your pencil a little bit, you can always make some figure eights to get your fingers and get your wrist ready to draw. Or you can make some ellipses or some ovals with your pencil to get it ready to work with. And if you need to just take the pencil and make some press and flick marks to get your pencil warmed up, you can do that too. Although we won't be using the press and flick too much today. Maybe a little bit of pressure like you see here. And definitely some line. Okay, so your pencil is a power tool like that student said last week. Okay, so I'm going to change my paper out here. All right, so I have this divided already into 4 equal sections. That's how I folded my paper. You could just draw it and divide it into 4 sections, or you don't have to. I just chose to draw it that way because it helps keep my stuff organized. I'm going to move this light a little bit out of the way here. Okay, so let's begin and see. I hope I don't clunk myself in the head with the iPad, but it could happen. It's happened before. All right, so we're going to start with just a straight, relaxed, closed mouth. So if you are not the smiley type, this is your mouth. Or maybe not exactly your mouth, but you know what I mean. I understand that not everybody likes to show their teeth when they smile or they're in a picture. So what we're going to do, I'm just going to draw very lightly a straightish line going across the middle of my square or this section of my paper. That's it. That's the start of it. Okay, now I picked my pencil up a little bit. It's very light and sketchy. If I need to go back and change some things, or if I want to go back and make it a little bit darker, I can. So that's the start of my line. All right, or start of my mouth rather. Now, this is the part, you don't need a straight edge, you don't need a ruler, but what you need to do now, or think about doing now, is we're going to find the middle. And like I said, it doesn't have to be perfect, but decide right about where the middle of your mouth is going to be. If you're a little off, that's okay, because we can adjust this line if we need to. So we found the middle of our mouth, okay? Now, this is where that hill comes in. We're going to draw a very low hill going up our mouth. And I'm going to start not all the way on the end of this line. I'm going to start a little bit in. And all I'm going to do is I am going to lightly. You don't have to press very hard. Your paper will thank you for it. And whoops, see, that's why we draw those light lines. So if I need to erase, I can erase. And we're going to draw a hill. And I'm going to stop my hill a little bit before I get to the other side. Okay. Now, you've just created your upper lip. Yep, that's it. All right, but we're not finished just yet because we need a lower lip too. Remember, our mouth is closed. And we're not finished up here. We're going to come back to this in just a second. But now we need to come down here. And we are going to draw a curved line. You might call this the banana. You could call this the bottom of the hammock. But we're going to draw a soft, curved line over to touch the other side. And you can go back with your pencil and make it a little darker if you need to. Okay, you can get it above here as well. All right, but we're not done just yet. Now, right here in the center, we're going to erase this line in the middle in just a second. But right here in the middle, you have something called, it's got a funny name, and I know I told you I didn't have any fancy words this week for you, but this is kind of funny. You have this little dent in the top middle of your upper lip. It's called the Cupid's bow, and some of you are going to get, ew, that's mushy stuff. Well, it's called the Cupid's bow. That's what it's called. Let's just leave it at that. Not mushy, nothing silly or lovey-dovey about it. It's just called the Cupid's bow. So to put in the Cupid's bow, or that little dent, you want to call it the dent in your lip? That's better. You make you think of the mushy stuff? Okay. Put in that little dent. We're going to make a tiny little V. It's like a mini V. Instead of a mini me, it's a mini V. How's that? Make a mini V right in the center of that line, or that, so there's a diagonal line going to this way and to the left. All right, and then you can take your pencil, and since we didn't press very hard, this is easy peasy. We're going to lightly erase the top part of that hill. We're going to erase that light line we drew through the center, and voila, you have a mouth. There you go. That's it. That's the mouth. Yep. You did it. Now, we're not quite finished here. We can erase the sides of this line a little bit if you want. And then, remember I showed you can do some shady stuff with that pencil. You could go back and apply a little bit of pressure. Oops, see, I kind of got a little bit off the line there, so I can erase because I wasn't pressing very hard. And you can make this line a little bit darker. Just a smidgen. And if you want to, you can make the outline around your lip a little bit darker, just a smidgen, and around. And this is what's kind of cool. Your lips, and I want you to put your hands on your mouth unless they're clean, but your lips have a lot of bumps and ridges and texture to them. They're very cool. They're very cool. But I don't want you to put your hands in your mouth, so don't do that unless your hands are clean. And you got a pencil in your hand, so maybe not now. But what you can do, very lightly, if you want to add a little bit more, you can add these very light little lines around the edge of your mouth because you do have these tiny little wrinkles in your mouth just because your mouth is so stretchy. Yeah, your mouth, you can smile with your mouth, you eat with your mouth, you sing, you do all these cool things that require your mouth to be extra stretchy. And you get all these little lines on it as a result, which is okay. So if you want to go in and add a little bit of detail to your mouth, you can. You can take your your finger, not your pencil. Silly me. And if you want to, you can blend it in with your finger a little bit to smear it all together, smudge it so it's got some light and value, and there's your mouth. Or there's a mouth. Maybe that's not the mouth you're going to use, but it could be. All right, so there's a nice relaxed mouth. It's a shut mouth, but it's just maybe a mouth you have when you're just listening and sitting in class. If you want to draw a smiley mouth, that's still closed. Maybe you don't want to show your teeth. It's still picture day and you're willing to smile, but you're not showing your teeth. That's okay. We're going to come over here and come over to my X square. And I'm going to draw a soft, sketchy curve. Okay, so that's it. That's what I got so far. Got a soft, sketchy curve. Make it a little bit darker, but it's already smiling back at you. Okay, so when you smile, you kind of stretch your lips a little bit. Okay, so I'm going to draw that same idea of a hill this time. Actually, first I need to find the center. Never mind. Find the middle the best you can. It does not have to be perfect. Find the middle, and actually I could have drawn that one a little bit over, but that's okay. I'm gonna make it work. Go make it work because we don't have to be perfect, friends. All right. So you stretch your lips a little bit when you smile. So this hill may not be as high as that hill that we just drew. So I am going to start a little bit in from the side here. And I'm going to ever so lightly draw across. And you know what? It's almost like a perfectly straight line. It can be if you want it to be. Depends on if you're drawing thicker lips or thinner lips. And we all have different mouths. We are all unique and special. So it's kind of up to you how you want to draw that. All right, so I connected it over to the other side. Now let's finish our banana shape at the bottom. The banana, that's fun to say. Banana. Please don't say that over and over and annoy people. Please don't. All right, so I'm going to come down here and I'm going to make my curved line to make my banana shape for my lower lip. And if it doesn't line up perfectly, don't worry about it. There are so many things that we can worry about this right now in time. This isn't one of them. All righty, so we've got our slightly smiling but shut mouth. Now let's go back up here. And we're going to put in the mini V, or the Cupid's bow. Tiny little V. Tiny little V. The mini V. I like the mini V. I'm going to keep that. All right, now once I've got that, because I drew lightly, I wasn't pushing with all my might into no, please don't push into the computer, into the paper. I can go back and I can lightly erase now the top of my mini V, and I can erase that center line. All right, and you gotta smile. You're smiling. And again, you can take your pencil and ever so lightly, because you can always go back and add more. It's kind of hard to, we have to take away. It's kind of harder to do that. You can make that line a little bit darker. You can darken it in around. If you want, if you like the way it looks about doing that, don't. And if you want to make things a little more, oh, I just erased that. My bad. Oh, didn't want to do that. It's okay though. If you like the way it looks without adding any more detail, that's okay too. All right, you can still kind of see my line there through the middle, but I'm going to leave that alone because I don't want to erase my stuff again. So if you want to, you can add those little wrinkles, those little lines in your mouth or around your lip. You don't have to, but you can if you'd like. Okay, So, and then this little part of your mouth here that's kind of off your lip, you can, I'm going to leave that in there because you do kind of have, for your muscles, pull up your mouth on the side. You kind of do see that. I'm going to leave that there. So we've got, I got a shadow because it's really dark outside right now. So my room's kind of dark too. But anyway, you can see my two sets of lips so far. We got a closed and relaxed mouth. We have a smiling mouth. I'm going to come down here and bring my paper over here, and we're going to make some mouths that have some teeth. Okay, so if you want to smile with your teeth, and I'm not going to add braces, but if you have braces and you want to add braces to your teeth, you sure could add that. You could make your mouth as true to you as you would like. Okay, so another thing to keep in mind too, if you're drawing yourself, is that when you're a kid, you lose your baby teeth. Does the Tooth Fairy come visit you? I always liked visits from the Tooth Fairy. I was obsessed with the Tooth Fairy when I was a kid. I even dressed up like her for Halloween. Twice. 2 times I did it. Same costume because I was so into the Tooth Fairy. Anyway, but you lose your baby teeth when you are a kid, and then you get your adult teeth, which is good because you need those adult teeth through life, you know? But your adult teeth seem like they're a lot bigger when you're a kid because your mouth isn't done growing even though your adult teeth are in your mouth. So sometimes our teeth look bigger when we're a kid, is what I'm getting at. We draw our teeth a little bit bigger because our mouths are smaller. So to start out, I'll do 2 different mouths that are cheesing, okay? To start out, we're going to do that hammock shape, the hammock. We would get in and take a relaxing nap in. So to do that, I am going to start with a curved line, just like I did here almost, only I might make it a little more of a curve. Now all of a sudden I must have broken or done something with my pencil. It's writing darker. That's okay. I'm going to make a curve. All right, I've got my curve. Now I need to go straight across. I can go pretty straight across here. Now don't dig into your paper. Don't dig into your paper. Don't do that. We want to stop doing that habit. And we're just going to drag our pencil, make a soft, sketchy line all the way across. We've got our hammock shape. And if you want to, I would do this. We're going to make our hammock have a little part here where we would attach it to the tree. So it's kind of pulling up here. Alrighty, next thing, oops, I just bumped everything and everything shook. All right, stop shaking everything. There we go, we're good. All right, so now I'm going to put in my upper lip, and I'm going to draw this kind of a thinner upper lip because, oh, no, I'm not. Actually, I am going to draw a thinner upper lip because, like I said, everybody's got different shaped lips. But the first thing I need to do, I got ahead of myself, I need to find the center. I'm going to find the center the best I can. I got ahead of myself. Talking about the Tooth Fairy. Got myself off track. All right. Okay. Now I'm good. Now we're going to make our gently rolling hill. So we're going to draw a hill, draw a very lightly raised line. Does not have to come up very high, this hill. Because like I said, when you smile, you stretch your lips a little bit. Okay, so you've got our gently raised hill. And now I'm going to draw my banana at the bottom. I'm going to come here in the corner. And this almost looks like a mouth right just like as it is, doesn't it? I'm going to make my banana. Please don't say that over and over again. I can see how that would be really annoying to somebody. Don't do that. I'm going to bring it down like this. And if you want to take your pencil and adjust things, you can, because you're not pressing that hard, or you're going to try really hard not to press into your paper. You know, it's kind of funny. We're talking about the Tooth Fairy. Your paper actually has what's called tooth. The texture, the surface of your paper is called the tooth of the paper. Yep, that's kind of funny. That's a coincidence. All right, so we're going to work on this hammock part here now. Excuse me. All right, we're going to leave this line right where we have it for a second, because you have 2 front teeth and usually have one big front tooth on one side of the line and one big front tooth on the other side of the line. Now, keep this in mind, my friends. When we're kids, sometimes our teeth are not perfectly straight in our mouth. I didn't wear braces till I was in high school, so I had a big gap in my teeth up front. So you don't have to draw your teeth perfectly stuck together, okay? Because most people's teeth are not perfectly stuck together. And you only have to draw your upper teeth, because usually when we smile, or often when we smile, not all the time, you don't see your bottom teeth when you smile. True story. Okay, sometimes you do, sometimes I do a tiny, tiny bit. Just depends on how big you're cheesing. So I'm gonna draw some teeth, and I'm gonna start by drawing a tooth. Like that, on one side of this line. And like I said, our teeth in our mouth look a lot bigger when we're kids, especially if we're getting our adult teeth, because we have a kid-sized mouth and we're getting adult-sized teeth. And then I might draw another tooth over here. You could even draw a crooked tooth. Okay, actually, I'm gonna keep the size of it similar. And actually, you know what I like even better here? Is that this tooth maybe, oh, you know what, I could have left it alone. Anyway, I was gonna draw it so like one tooth was still maybe coming down through the teeth, like you had lost your front tooth and you were getting a new tooth, but that's okay, I can do it over here maybe. But yeah, you can draw teeth as natural as you like. They don't have to look like perfect pearly whites that you see in a cartoon or see on TV. That's not, a lot of the stuff you see on TV or online, that's not for reals. Sorry. But you can just put in very lightly some upper teeth. Okay? So that's all I'm going to do for my teeth. You don't have to draw them all perfect or worry about them being the same size and shape, because guess what? They aren't. And then I'm going to come up here and I'm going to very lightly put in my mini V. I like that mini V. I'm going to say that. That'll keep its on. All right, and now I can erase that line that helped me keep things centered. And this part I love to do. Take your pencil and just shade around your teeth. So we're shading in the inside of our mouth. Just like we're coloring with our pencil. It's so satisfying. And you will see our mouth is almost done. Try not to color over your teeth. If you do, it's all right. We're practicing. We're just having fun. Don't worry about it. Alrighty. So, and if you want to add some more detail, you can add a little shading around your mouth and on the inside and up here. And then you can add those little tiny little wrinkles to your mouth. Da, 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 da. Tiny little lines. Just make it look a little more real. All right. So there you have it. If you want to see one more mouth, I will do it over here. You do not have to. Okay, so if you like any of these three mouths, you are good to go. But if you are wanting to see another smile and you want to stick around for another smile, I'll do it one more time. Okay, so I'm going to start with my, ouch, just almost clunked myself in the head. I almost went the entire time without clunking myself in the head, but yeah, there's such luck. All right, I'm going to draw another curved line. There's my start of my smile, and I'm going to finish it off. The top part of my hammock. Go straight across. Find your center. Okie dokie. Then we're going to make our very lightly raised hill. Oops, I got a little off there. That's all right. I'll fix it. Lightly raised hill. Then make our banana. And then we're going to put on our mini V before we forget. the mini V. I like that. And then I'm going to stick in my teeth. Okay, so remember, we're going to keep our front tooth one on each side of that to help us line it up. I'm going to make these teeth a little more curvy. Some people have a little more rounded teeth. Teeth are fun. I used to, like I said, I was really into teeth when I was a kid. I loved Tooth Fairy. Anyway, sticking a couple teeth. Going to erase that center line, and then I'll just color in around my teeth. Oops, I actually colored a little bit of the, oops, I did it again. All right, and there you have it. You have another mouth. So my friends, next week we're going to use something called the magic egg. Is it really magic? Of course it is. But we're going to use the magic egg to put our faces all together. And I think you will do a fabulous job regardless. Okay, friends? So practice drawing mouths. You have 3 different styles to choose from. And I will see you next week. Bye-bye.